No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, any other challenges you faced while practicing the topics?
Yes, yes. Hello,
Yes, yes, tell me.
hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Tell me.
Actually, while practicing the VM, I have seen
Okay.
that like 192 series, like 192.168.0.10. So mine
Okay.
is home edition. I'm not seeing that. Is it okay or is something wrong?
So yours is home edition, right? I told you generally for a home edition you cannot practice RDP and all.
Yeah, that server is not visible, no IP address.
It will be visible, but in the home edition there is no such feature. RDP feature is not there.
Okay, okay,
That is the main challenge.
okay.
Yeah.
And again, second one is there is some specific instance and shared instances while installing the SQL server. Is
Okay.
there no?
While
Yeah, first, yeah, I have installed first instance as a default.
okay.
In second instance, I have some instances. But second instances are a blank.
Guys, is his audio clear or any breakings are there? Or I am listening like breaking voice and all.
Not clear.
It's clear, huh?
Not clear.
Not clear,
It's
huh?
not.
Okay.
I will type in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. Just type your question in the chat, okay? Done. Okay, hello Sian. Sian, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. So Sian,
Hi.
am I correctly spelling your name?
Yes,
Okay, thank
pretty
you.
close.
Yep, yep, yep. So Sian, so this is your first class, right? So nothing to worry. So we just started this training last week. Okay, so we are in like we are still in the beginning only, so we didn't discuss much. Okay, so you can just go through it. Okay, you'll get an idea. I'll share the previous recordings with you. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sian. Yeah. Let's continue, guys. So in the last class we discussed about the SQL Server SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, like how to install SSMS, how to download SSMS. Please don't mind, I'm not feeling well, cough and cold. Okay, so please don't mind, guys. Right. So let me connect to the server first. Right. So how to download SSMS and how to install Management Studio, how to open Management Studio, how to connect to the SQL server, how to disconnect from the SQL server, how to filter the objects in the SQL Server Management Studio, how to run a sample query, how to check whether the query is wrong, right or wrong, and how to check output, where to check output, how many services will be installed when you install SQL Server, what is a specific service, what is the shared services, how many folders will be created when you install SQL Server, how to identify the version of the SQL Server. One minute. How to identify the version of the SQL Server without connecting to SSMS, how to identify what type of instance it is, whether it is a default instance or named instance. So all these things we discussed in the previous class, right? Yesterday's class. Muhammad, I just muted you. Okay, if you have any questions, you can unmute and you can ask me. Right. So Vivek, in your home edition, you are able to do RDP.
Yeah, yeah.
That's nice, man. So any other softwares you installed?
No, no.
Try multiple times. The thing is, generally, home edition people can do RDP for like 1 2 times or hardly five to 10 times. When I see later after 5 to 10 times, not sure what will happen, but it don't support. Okay, so let's see. Earlier also 1 2 times one of our students are able to connect, but later after some practicing, they are going to keep on connecting to the server, right? Later, not sure what happened, but it was not supported later. Okay, so we'll see. Let's see. That's fine, guys. How many of you are using Windows Home Edition, guys? How many of you are
I
using
do.
Windows? Okay.
Hi Shanmugh, Harati.
Arati, okay. So you are able to do RDP, Abhi, Arati.
Yes.
Nice,
Yes,
nice, nice.
No,
No, okay,
I
Abhi, that's
can.
fine. That's
Uh,
Abhi is a lucky
already
guy. Then. Yeah,
I already
fine.
downloaded SSMS, but I cannot be attached to my,
Okay,
you
what
know, this.
error you are getting, Abhi?
So it doesn't, say grayed out. Whenever I copy and paste, the paste section is going to be grayed out.
Okay, fine, fine. So let's see. We'll check with Harati and we'll check with Vivek. Okay, so initially they can connect, but later after 5-10 days might be it will throw the error. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Fine. Today what we'll discuss, today we'll try to create one sample database. Okay. And what will happen when you create a database? Internally, what will happen? Yesterday we discussed about internals also. Little bit internals also, like the SQL Server internals. Like in SQL Server, let me open the diagram again so that you will be comfortable. Right? And let me open the diagram once. One minute, guys, getting on call. Hello, Sharath. Right, okay. So now you can see my screen, right? So yesterday we discussed about this diagram also. So like how the things will be organized physically in the SQL Server. Okay, so using this diagram we discussed yesterday how the things will be organized physically in the SQL Server. So SQL Server is nothing but, like, imagine this is a Windows box. In this Windows box you can install one SQL instance. The blue color one is the SQL instance. In the SQL instances we will have databases. Inside the databases you will have file group concept and then log file concept. Today we'll discuss what log file will do, what data file will do, what is the use of these two files. If you go inside the data files, you can see extents. Extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages. You can see total 8 pages will be there. So page is the basic storage unit in the SQL Server. As discussed yesterday, Page is a basic storage unit in the SQL server. So when you create a table, automatically SQL server will allocate one page for your table. When you create a table, automatically SQL server will allocate a page for you. If your table is full, if the page is full, what SQL server will do? SQL server will add one more page to that particular table. SQL server will add one more page. If this page is full, SQL server add one more page. If this page is full, SQL server add one more page. Like that, it will add, keep on adding page by page, page by page, page by page. Once 8 pages are completed, it will allocate the whole extent for your table. Okay, again I'm saying very important, guys. So in SQL server, SQL instance, we will have databases. Database is nothing but collection of data files and log files. If you go inside the data file, you can see extents. In the extents, if you go inside the extent, you can see pages. Page is a basic storage unit in the SQL server. Page is nothing but basic storage unit. Basic storage unit in the SQL server. Okay, so when you create a table, SQL server will allocate a page for you for your table. Okay, if that page is full, SQL server will keep adding 8 KB pages to your table based on your transactions and all. So SQL server will keep adding 8 KB page, 8 KB page, 8 KB page. First it will add 8 KB. If that is not sufficient, it will add one more 8 KB. If that is also not sufficient, it will add one more 8 KB. So like that, the page sizes, the pages count will be increased. So from where it is going to increase, guys? From where it is going to allocate this? From an extent. From where you will get these pages? From the extent. So basic extent is nothing but basic allocation unit. Basic allocation unit. Your page is basic storage unit where your tables will be stored, but your extent is basic allocation unit, and extent is also nothing but collection of 8 data pages. Collection of 8 data pages is called one extent. Extent, there are two definitions for extent. Extent is nothing but a basic allocation unit, and collection of 8 data pages also called as an extent. So this is what we discussed yesterday, right? So now what we will do, let's create a database, a sample database, so that I can show you what type of files will be created internally. Let me connect to the instance. I can use connect button to connect to the instance. So sometimes you are going to get, let me explain you some connection issues, guys. So sometimes you are going to get some errors. Okay, what kind of errors you will get while connecting to the SQL server, I'll tell you. Okay, generally, see, your SQL server agent is stopped state, right? So how to start this agent, guys? Very simple, right click, start the agent. Okay, right, you can click start, yes. Okay, here you can choose yes. Fine. So sometimes you are going to get some issues, guys. Let me show you how to stop the services. You should know how to start the services. Sometimes your SQL server will be in stopped state. So you have to start the service. How can we start the service? Right click, and you can, in case if it is stopped state, start will be enabled. Now it is grayed out, right, which is already running, so that's why start is grayed out. So in case if this is stopped state, right click, we can start the instance. This is one way. Second way is go to services.msc. Yesterday we discussed how many services will be created, guys, when you install a single instance. Quickly.
6.
6.
6. Out of 6, how many are shared, how many are specific?
Two are shared,
Two are
four
shared.
are specific.
For our shared or specific.
How to identify shared features and specific features?
In the
There
brackets,
is
MS
instance name.
SQL Server, those are
Specific
specific.
and brackets.
Yes. Okay. How to identify shared services?
There is no brackets in
Without name.
Without name, you can count it. You can calculate it as a shared service. These shared
shared.
services will be existed. How many copies per Windows machine?
Two.
These shared services will existed. How many copies per Windows machine? Only one
Only
copy
once.
of
For
only
one
one
instance, one
copy.
copy.
Yeah, only one copy of shared services will be existed per Windows machine. Right. If I install 5 instances, total how many services you can see? How many? Yesterday we
22.
discussed one formula also.
22.
4n plus 2.
22.
4 into number of instances. 5 instances. 4 into 5. 20 plus 2. 22 services you can see when you install 5 instances in this machine. Chalo. Now one way to start and stop the instance is right click. If you want to start, you can start, but generally don't stop it. But sometimes if there is a requirement, then if there is a task or ticket to stop, then you can stop it. Okay, but you should know how to stop. One way is right click on the instance name in the SSMS, you can start or stop. Right. Another way is go to services.msc. Okay, so this is the main service, guys. SQL Server. Nothing will be there. Just SQL Server in brackets instance name will be there. This is called your database engine service. See here for other services you can see SQL Server Agent, SQL Server Browser, CIP service, VSS Writer, full text. So for SQL Server there is no other extension will be there. So SQL Server, only SQL Server in brackets instance name will be there. This is the main service. Okay, right. So why every time I have to manually start the agent, guys? How to fix this issue permanently? Can anyone tell me the answer by just looking at the services? Every time, yesterday also I manually started the agent. Today also I manually started the agent. I want to fix this permanently. How can I fix this? Guess it, guys.
Change it to automatic.
Just we have to change
That's
from
it.
Change
Very
to
nice.
automatic.
Nice. Here you can see automatic and manual, guys. Okay, for these two services which is showing manual. Manual means manually when the server is rebooted, manually again you have to start the service, which is not a good practice. So I want to change it to automatic. Automatic means what? When you restart your Windows machine or when you stop and start your Windows machine, automatically these services will come up with the Windows machine like SQL Server. How to set it to automatic? Double click on this service and choose automatic and apply. Okay, next time automatically agent also will be up and running when you start the Windows machine. Clear? Right. So how to stop? One way is Windows Management Studio, right? Stop and start. And how to stop and start using services.msc also we can do that. Right click, stop, or select the service, stop, restart. So in this way we can, let me stop it, guys. I'm stopping it manually, wantedly I'm stopping it. Okay, I'm stopping it. So you should know what error you will get it when the instance is in stopped state. Now let me disconnect. Okay, I'm going to connect it again. So I'm going to give the same instance name. Can anyone tell me how many ways we can connect to default instance? What and all different names are there for default instance?
4 names.
What are those 4 names?
Dot local.
Local host and computer
Local
name.
host. Computer name.
Right. Now I am trying to connect to the SQL server. Okay. Now you see, can I connect to the SQL server now? Is it going to allow me?
No.
Why?
It is in stopped state.
Very good. As the SQL server service is in stopped state, now I cannot connect to SQL server. I'll get very big error. Remember this error. Sometimes you will get this error in the organization. So in which cases, in what cases we are going to get these errors, we'll discuss. Okay. See here. A network related or instance specific error occurred while establishing a connection to SQL server. the server was not found or was not accessible. Verify that the instance name is correct and that the SQL server is configured to allow remote connections. Okay, example named providers error could not open a connection SQL server. Guys, as a SQL DBA, you should have a patience, guys. You should have patience to read the error properly. Why? Because in this error message itself, it is showing all the possible reasons in what case will get the error, and it is also showing all the options to fix that error also. Clear? It is clearly saying, okay, the server was not found or was not accessible. Verify that the instance name is correct. This is the problem. Okay, the server was not found or was not accessible. In what case it was not found? Generally, in what case it was not accessible? If the server is in stopped state, it cannot be accessible. If the server name is wrong, server not found. How to fix it? It is saying verify that the instance name is correct and the SQL server is configured to allow remote connections. So all possible options it is giving. So let me tell you in what and all scenarios will get this error. So when the SQL server is in stopped state, when the SQL server is stopped, you will get that error. When the instance name is wrong, then also you will get the same error. Okay, and one more thing is when the SQL server is turned off for remote connections, okay, in that case also we'll get the error, this error guys, this error, not other errors. This error you will get it in three possible cases. One is if SQL server is down. Second case is if you gave wrong server name, and the third case is if TCP/IP remote connections are not allowed. See here, SQL server is configured to allow remote. Check whether SQL server is configured to allow remote connections or not. So in all these cases, generally you will get this error, guys. How to fix this? Check in the services.msc. First solution, check in the services.msc. Check whether SQL server is up and running or not. If not running, just select that particular start button. So SQL server will be started, and even select that particular agent also, and you can able to, okay. I did not restarted the Windows machine, right? So that's why I have to manually start the service again. Right, now click OK. Right, so now if you see here, click OK and again try to connect. This time you are able to connect. Why? Because every time when you are connecting to the database engine, it has to give one session, guys. When it can give one session, when it can communicate, if it is up and running, then only it can communicate, right? If it is simply in stopped state, how come it is going to open one connection? So this is also one connection. If you are connecting means this is also one connection. SQL server will give you one connection to you so that you can talk to the SQL server. If it is in stopped state, how it can allocate a connection to you? So that's why you cannot connect if the SQL server is in stopped state. Second possible reason, I am simply adding one extra F. I know that there is no such kind of server name, but still I am trying to add. In that case also I'll get the error. So what you have to do here, it is clearly saying that your server name is wrong. So you have to check the server name while connecting. Third case, you have to check whether protocols are enabled or not. Where I can see the protocols, port numbers, where I can see, can anyone tell me? Where I can see the port numbers, guys?
In service.
Yeah,
There is
okay.
a count.
Right, generally in the organization, that is also one reason, okay. Not in services, in the configuration manager. How to open configuration manager? Click on this Windows, select this tools 19 and choose SQL Server configuration manager. Where is that? Okay, it was not there here. You can see this folder, right? SQL Server 2019 folder. See here, red briefcase, you can see, right? This is your configuration. What is the difference between services.msc and configuration manager? In services.msc, you can see all the software related services. whatever softwares you installed in the Windows machine, all other software related services including SQL Server also you can see. But in the configuration manager, you can see only SQL Server related services. Okay. So sometimes while troubleshooting, we'll use configuration manager also. While setting up the default port number, while setting up the dynamic port number, in that case also we'll use configuration manager to enable the protocols and all. So what is the other possible reason, guys? So go to network configuration manager and select protocols. See here, if some of the protocols, see, while connecting, where is that error? It has gone up. Okay, so while connecting, no, I have to give the different name, right? Where is that error? It should come, right? Did I click OK or what? Right. Okay, so if any of the protocols are disabled, not now, I'll tell you what is the use of the protocols. Protocol is nothing but simply, it's a door for SQL Server, guys. In the apartment, imagine a big apartment is there with 40 houses. Each flat will have its own door, right? In the same way, imagine Windows machine is the big apartment. In that apartment, we'll install lot of softwares. Imagine each software is a flat, individual flat. If I want to talk to you, if you are staying in that apartment, if I want to talk to you, you have to open your flat door, right? Without opening your flat door, I cannot talk to you, right? Even though your apartment gate is opened, if you close your flat door, I cannot communicate with you. Correct or not, guys? Right?
That's true.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's why these are like, for each software, these are individual doors kind of thing. Protocols are kind of a doors, guys. Protocols are kind of a doors, okay, to that particular SQL Server software. So sometimes if TCP/IP is disabled, okay, in that case also you will generally get this kind of error. So first case, if SQL services are stopped state. Second case is if you gave the wrong server name. Third case is if protocols are stopped or disabled state. In all these cases, we'll get this error. Okay, fine, guys. Is it clear? Right. So one way to restart the SQL Server is right click, restart or start stop. Second way is from services.msc you can start and stop and restart. Third way is from your configuration manager also you can start, stop, restart. See, this is your stop button, this is your restart button, and right click also you can do stop, start, restart also you can do. Okay, right. One more quick interview question is, what is the default port number for SQL Server? Interview question. What is the default port number for SQL Server? Port number, I told you, right? It's a kind of door number. So in the Windows machine is a big apartment, lot of softwares we can install. Each software will have kind of a flat. So each flat will have its own door, right? In the same way, SQL Server also is having its own door. Every door will have door door number, right? So SQL Server door number is 1433. Okay, SQL Server door number is 1433. This is called port number. Technically, don't tell in the interview door number, apartment, gate and all. Okay, so tell them technically, just to understand I'm using these words, guys. That's it. What is the port number for SQL Server? 1433. Where I can see, I'll show you. Can we change the port number? Yes, we can change. Port number? Yes, we can change. Okay, answer is yes, we can change. How to change the port number? Is it a downtime activity? Yes, it's a downtime activity. What is meant by downtime activity? In case if there is a need to restart the SQL Server because of some changes, that kind of activity is called downtime activity. So where I can see the door number, go to SQL Server Configuration Manager, go to Protocols of MS SQL Server, go to TCP/IP Properties, go to IP addresses. Okay, you can see here TCP port 1433. I want to change. Yes, you can change. How to change it? Go to the end of the window, TCP ports, dynamic ports. Okay. Array. 1 minute, guys. Sudarshan, open చేస్తున్నాను. Okay, sorry for that. Right, okay. So can we change the port number, guys? Yes, we can change the port number. So for that, go to configuration manager, go to protocols, and then go to TCP IP properties. Double click on that, you can go to properties. Then go to IP addresses tab, go below, go down. Okay, there you can see TCP dynamic ports. You can set your dynamic port and all. What number we have to give, this will be decided by your team lead or manager. Generally will follow, okay, one number. Generally for default instance we don't change it, guys, but for named instance you can install one more instance, right? Like that we can install 50 instances, right? 50 instances means 50 flats. Each instance will have its own port number. Okay, don't think using the same port I can enter into the SQL server. No, each instance is one flat, guys. Each flat will have a door number. So if you want to set it, you can set here. Like generally a dynamic port number you will get it. For named instance I'll show you, you will get a dynamic port number which is a 5-digit port number, you will get it. Okay, so when you when you change the port number, if you want to change this 14332 to some other number 1456, then you can change it from here, but you have to restart the SQL server. Okay, changing the port number will take effect when you restart the SQL server. Any questions, guys, here? I'm not checking the chart, sorry if I'm missing something. Let me check the chart again. No questions, I guess. Any questions, any doubts?
Sir, what is the necessity of changing port number?
Very good question. Okay, very simple. Security. Why? Because everyone knows default port number is 1433. Hackers can use that channel to enter into the SQL server. So for security reasons, we have to change the port number.
Okay, sir.
Prema, who is Prema?
Prema Sai Reddy.
Sai Reddy. Prem Sai Reddy. Okay, okay. Chalo, chalo, no issues. Okay. Guys, is it clear? Any questions, please, here? Any questions, any doubts? Right, chalo. Okay, 1 minute. How can we tell we have the correct server name? So, Abhi, very good question. Actually, we will have inventory. First thing is very simple. If it is a default instance, it should be computer name only. So, you can cross check whether server name is right or wrong. Okay. From your command prompt, you can simply type host name. Okay, this is one way if it is a default instance. If it is a named instance and all, so generally what we can do, we will maintain an inventory. Okay, Excel sheet or some Confluence pages will be there, or some wiki pages will be there. So in that we'll maintain an inventory. We have to cross check whether that server name is existed or not in that inventory. In that way we can make sure the server name is correct. Okay. Can we use same port number for? No, just now we discussed, Vijay, we cannot use same port number for different instance.
Sir, how we came to know
Which one?
the same port number is already used?
You can see here instance properties. You can check in the configuration manager. You can check the instance properties. Okay, generally when you install, very simple, when you install SQL Server, by default it will give you a default port number. Okay, now if I install second, as it is a default instance, it will give 1433. For default instance, by default it will give 1433. If I install second instance, it will give you a 5-digit port number, dynamic port number. We'll call it as a dynamic port number. If you install third instance, again the port number will be changed. Fourth instance, port number will be changed. It's not like we will go and check it and we are going to decide the port number. Automatically the dynamic port will be allocated by your Windows server itself. Do we need to add new rule in the firewall? Yes, very good question, Sujana, sorry. Yeah, port number that comes under different part. Port is nothing but a way, right? A path you are showing, okay, right? So in that case, you have to open the rules, new rules. So this will be done by the network team. They are going to add the rules, network or Windows team. They are going to add the new rules and all. But guys, nothing to worry as of now. We'll be discussing later in coming classes, okay? Right. As of now, is it clear?
Mr. Shamik, I have one question.
Yes, please.
So the question is like, if I check, whenever I check my service accounts, whenever I type in services, if I, even if I installed the SQL, management studio, and if I don't see it there, like the SQL server, if I don't see it, does it mean that I didn't install it properly, or?
Not like that. It's not like that. Very simple question. Very good question
It
actually.
was
But
already installed.
yes. So
Already
the thing
installed.
is,
Okay.
yeah, the thing is sometimes we'll connect to the SQL server, okay, from the same Windows machine, right? We can easily check in the services.msc. We can see the computer name or we can see the type of instance and all. Sometimes we'll use the one management studio to connect to other boxes SQL servers also. So if you are able to connect to one instance, means don't think that instance should be present in that Windows machine. This is called remote connection. What is meant by remote work? Your office is somewhere, but you are doing. Your office is somewhere, but you are charging. Your office is somewhere. Just 1 minute, guys. Just 1 minute. What happened? Right. Sorry, guys. Sorry for that. Right. So don't think like we can only connect to the same machine instance, guys. Don't think we can only connect to the same machine instance using SSMS. Okay, so we have an option called remote connections, like remote work, like your office somewhere it will be there, but you are able to connect from your home, remote work, right? In the same way, your SQL server will be there in another Windows machine, but still you are able to connect from this Windows machine or from your local laptop management studio. In what case it is possible? You have to enable the remote connections. So if you enable the remote connections, you can also connect other machine instances also from this Windows machine. Okay, some security reasons and all will be there, some security precautions and all will be there. So the thing is, don't expect, if you are able to connect to one instance, means don't expect the instance is from same Windows machine. It can be from the same Windows machine, or it can be from the different Windows machine also. Okay, so don't think it should show the services in services.msc or in the configuration manager. You cannot see the services in that case. Okay, so nothing to wonder here. So it's very simple. You can connect to the same Windows machine instance, or you can connect to other instance from other Windows machine also using the management studio. Means from this machine itself, now the server IP address is 0.10 192.168.0.10. So imagine one more instance installed in 192.168.0.11. Using this management studio, we can still able to connect to 0.11 instance also. I'll show you in coming classes. You have to make sure both servers should be in same network and both servers should be communicate with each other. But even though my management studio is in 0.10, I can still able to connect my 0.11 instance, 0.12 instance, 0.13 instance. So this is called remote connections. Okay, so the answer is no, it's not mandatory. The instance should be from same Windows machine. Clear, Abhi?
Yes.
Fine. Right.
Thank you.
No problem. Right, chalo. So now what we'll do, guys, so in multiple ways we can start and stop. One way is management studio again, second way is your services.msc, third way is your configuration manager, fourth way is, can anyone tell me the fourth way? Fourth way, what is the fourth way?
Command prompt.
Excuse me, command prompt. Very good, very good. Okay. Command prompt, guys, let me show you a small demo. Okay, so we are not discussing any advanced topics and all, guys, very small topics only. So let me show you how to restart SQL Server from command prompt. Okay, so now I want to restart this SQL Server, right? So there is a command from command prompt, net. Currently it is running, right? So currently it is running, SQL Server is running. You can see the state it is running. I want to first stop it, right? Net stop MS SQL Server. Okay, just hit enter. Right, SQL Server. Do you want me to stop agent also? Yes. Why? Just type why. So now SQL Server agent is also stopping. SQL Server is also stopping. It was stopped successfully. So now you can see here it is showing like running, right? Just refresh it. Now SQL Server is in stopped state. It's not running now, and even agent also not running. Now how to start it? Net start MS SQL Server. That's it. Very simple queries. Net start MS SQL Server to stop, net start MS SQL Server to start, guys. Done. Now it is up and running. Now refresh again. Now it is showing stopped state, right? So right click, just refresh. Now you can see, of course, agent you have to start it manually. Okay, so SQL Server, in this way we can start it, guys. Okay, so using 4 ways we can start and stop the SQL services, guys. Chalo, so now what we will do, let me create a sample database. Okay, how to create a database and what will happen when you create a database, we'll discuss, guys. Okay, so how can we create a sample database or database? There is no sample database, database only. How to create a database? Okay, so generally we can do in two ways. One way is GUI mode, graphical user interface mode. Second method is CUI, command user interface mode. So first let me show you graphical user interface mode. Now you don't see any user databases, right? Only system databases you can see. We'll discuss about system databases. There is a separate class on this, and then database snapshots and all. So now if any user database is there, you can see under this database snapshot. Let me create a new database. Right click, new database. Right, So listen carefully. As per this diagram, when you create a database, two files will come. One is data file, second one is log file. One is data file, second one is log file. So tomorrow we'll discuss what is the difference between data file and log file, why we should have two files, why can't we manage with a single file. Okay, so tomorrow means Monday, guys. Monday we'll discuss these things. Is data file and log file mandatory? Can we create a database without a data file or without log file? So all these things will be discussed on Monday. Okay, right, go to here. So I'm going to give the name of the database. What name I'll give? Tell me any application name, guys. Any application name? Any application name, tell me. Currently, daily we are using lot of applications, right? Tell me one application name.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Okay, chalo, WhatsApp. Okay. So WhatsApp. Okay, so see here. Let me delete again. See the magic here. Okay, if you see here once. I'm going to delete it. Okay. So now again I'm typing WhatsApp. Okay, so I'm typing WhatsApp. So if you see here, when you maximize, you can see two files. You can see under database files, you can see two files. And how to identify what is data file, what is log file? If you expand second column, you can see this is your data file, rows data, and this is your log file. So by default it came, guys. I did not added any files. By default it came data file and log file. I told you, right, data files generally don't exist manually. For data files you should have file groups concept. So automatically when you create a database, SQL Server will create one file group, default file group called primary file group. Why? Because this MDF file, MDF means main data file, guys. Okay, this is the main file. When you create one database, mainly two files will come. One is data file, which is MDF. Second one is log file, which is LDF. If MDF is not sufficient, I can add one more data file called NDF, next data file or new data file. Okay, I can add second data file. This NDF is the second data file. MDF is the primary data file. So this primary data file cannot create its alone. It should be created in the file group only. So primary file group will be created automatically. So that's why if you see here, it belongs to primary file group. Okay, I told you, right, log file. If you see here, log file doesn't belongs to any file groups. Excuse me, guys, sorry for that. Log file doesn't belongs to any file groups. Okay, so you can see here it was separated. So that's why file group concept is not applicable for the log files. Each file will have a size, right? Whether it is a small or big, it will create with one minimum size, with minimum file size. So by default, your data file size is 8 MB and your log file size is 8 MB. Can we increase the size? Answer is yes. Initial size. This is just initial size, not final size. And you can see the MBs. Okay, you can see the MBs. So initial size MB, 8 MB for data file, 8 MB for log file. Right, now the question is, we can initial the size, right? We can initial. We can increase the size, not an issue. But I am managing 100 databases. 100 databases will have how many files, guys? Generally, default. 100 databases, 200 files. Each database 2 files. 100 database, 200 files. I'm having 1000 databases in my environment. So how many total files will be there? 2000 files. So in that case, who will monitor each file size daily? If this 8 MB is full, Who will come and check? Who will increase the size? Like that I am having 2000 files. Every day who will check 2000 files? Who will increase the size of 2000 files? If you are using 10,000 databases, 20,000 files will be there. Okay, who will come and check 20,000 files every day? That's why we have an option called auto growth. Automatically files will grow. We can set it. Okay, this 8 MB, once the 8 MB is full, then automatically increase the growth of my data file and log file. See, enable auto growth. If you want to disable it, just uncheck this one. That's it. None. Auto growth none means auto growth is not enabled, which is very dangerous. Why? Because once this 8 MB is full, then if the disk is full, what error you will get, guys? Already 1 GB drive is there with you. You are trying to copy one software which is 1.5 GB. What error you will get it?
The disk is full.
Disk is full. In the same way, if auto growth is disabled, if 8 MB is full, you will get an error database file is full. So application cannot connect to the database. Why? Because it don't find any free space to enter the data. So the file is full. So application will get a lot of errors, guys. So that's why it's a good practice to enable the auto growth. Right. So how you are going to grow the auto growth? How you are going to manage the auto growth? There are two options. One is in percentage. If you give in percent and if you give 10 percentage, can you tell me, guys, if this 8 MB is full, how much MB will be added to that file?
1.5.
Huh? If 8 MB is full, how much MB will be added in this case?
0.8 MB.
That's it.
1.5 MB.
10 percentage of 8 MB, 10 percentage of 8 MB is 0.8 MB. So 0.8 MB will be added, the new file size will be 8.8 MB. If you set it as 20 percentage, how much will be added? 0.8, 0.8, 1.6 MB will be added, the new file size will be 9.6, 8 plus 1.6, 9.6. If you set it as 50 percentage, what is the new file size, guys?
12.
12
MB.
12 MB, very simple. 50 percentage of 8
Yes.
is 4 MB, 8 plus 4, 12 MB. Like that, if 12 MB is full, what is the next size? If 12 MB is full, what is the next size?
18.
50 percentage of 12, which is 6. So 12 plus 6, 18. If 18 is also full or closer to 18, then one more 50 percentage, 9 MB will be added. So keep on adding, the value will be increased. Or else you just set it as 1000 bytes, 1000 MB. Now what is the new file size, guys? Tell me.
8,000.
8000, 8 into 1000, 8000.
1008 MB.
So just very simple. If 8 MB is full, it will simply add 1000 MB. That's it. 1008 MB. If 1008 MB is full, one more 1000 MB will be added. 2008 MB, 3008 MB, like that it will keep on adding. But from where it will add? From where it will add, guys? Tell me, from where it will add?
From the hard disk space.
Yes, very good. Don't think it is going to add from the space. Okay, your file is stored in the C drive. It will keep adding 1000 MB, 1000 MB, 1000 MB. At one point, it will consume the whole free space, right? So your drive is also full, right, at one point. Is it clear, guys? Is it
Yes.
clear, everyone? So in
Yes,
the case, who has to take care of it? You have to request Windows team to extend the drive. So Windows team, now it is 25 GB, right? They will make it as 50 GB for the next time. If it is data file, log file, we are going to deal in a different way, I'll tell you. Generally, if the drive is full, you have to request Windows team. There are some maintenance activities to clean up the drive. If it is not possible, we'll request the Windows team to add some storage to the drive, so that automatically they are going to add it and the data files will keep growing. So application will keep running, guys. This is the meaning of auto growth. And you can limit the size. Generally, it's not a good practice to limit it, But if you limit to 10,000 MB, automatically it will grow. Once it reaches 10,000 MB, it will stop growing automatically. That is the meaning of maximum file size. I'm going to set it as unlimited, guys. It shouldn't limit to any value. Okay, fine. I'm not going to set 1000 MB. I'll set it as in percentage MB. Fine. The same value for log file also. Now, by default, the data file is going to store in this location and log file is going to store in this location. So that's fine, no issues. Okay. If you want to change it, you can change it to some other drive by clicking on browse button. You can, generally in the organization, will keep all the data files in one drive. We'll keep all the log files in another drive. So separate drives will be there. Generally we'll use D drive for data files, E drive for log files, something. D drive we don't use it, but E drive, F drive, E drive, L drive, like that we'll use different drives, okay, for storing the files and all. So we don't have other drives, we have only C drive. D drive is not a fixed drive, guys. That is a virtual disk drive. Don't think D drive is a drive, okay? It's not a drive actually, it's not a fixed drive. It's just a virtual drive, okay? So don't try to create any files in the D drive. I'll use the same default values only. Guys, I created a database in C drive. Later, can I change it to another location? Is it going to allow us? Guess it, just guess it. Pinky, Ponky, guess it.
Yes, we can change it.
Yes, path can be
Yes.
So is it a downtime activity then?
No.
It's not a downtime activity?
Yes.
Yes, it is downtime activity. Yes.
It's a downtime activity. Okay. Why? Because you have to physically move the files. When we can move the files, I have to keep the database offline. Then only I can move the files. If you keep the database offline, your application will be offline or down. So that is called a downtime activity. Okay. So later also we can change the files. There are some scenarios, there are some tasks as a DBA you have to perform to move the files from one drive to another drive. So there we have to change the files. Okay, fine, guys. So owner, if you see owner, generally it will be default. What is the meaning of default? I'll tell you. Those who connected to the SQL server, okay, and creating the objects, his name will come as a owner. Okay, those who connected to the SQL server and creating the objects. If Suresh connected to the SQL server and he created one database, Suresh will be the owner of the particular database. If some Deepthi connected to the server with her name, okay, and she created one database, and database owner will be Deepthi. What is the challenge with that? Can we keep Deepthi or Suresh as a database owners? No.
No.
What is the problem? Deepthi and Suresh both are employees. Today they will work in this organization. Tomorrow if any new opportunity comes, they will jump to another organization. So once they jump to other organization, their account will be deleted, right? If you keep their names as owners, okay, their account will be deleted. Suresh, imagine Suresh is the owner. So Suresh account, if Suresh left the organization, still the Suresh account will be deleted, but still owner name won't be changed automatically. So in that case, database won't work properly. So that's why we have to use one default login, which is a sysadmin, that is SCA login. SCA login is the default login and sysadmin also. So we'll give this name as a owner. So it's a common practice in the organization. No one can delete SCA login. Okay, no one can delete SCA login. It don't allow us to delete. If you click OK also, it don't allow us to delete. Okay, so this is how generally we'll get the, okay, see, drop failed, could not use the principal SCA. You cannot delete SCA login, guys. Okay, so it should be permanent login. That permanent login is called SCA. So we'll give SCA name as a database owner. Okay, Fine. Right. Go to options. Here we'll discuss some other options. In future we'll discuss about the compatibility level, recovery models, everything will be discussed. Some of the options are showing false, some of them are showing true. Keep it as it is, don't change any values here. We don't do anything here. File groups. Can I add multiple file groups to the database?
Yes.
Yes, you can see option here. I can add multiple file groups. How many file groups I can add? And one more question. I can see one data file, one log file. Can I add extra data files if I want, or extra log files if I want? Can I add it? Is it going to allow me?
No.
Yes, yes. You can see add here. I can still add the files. So how many files I can add? How many file groups I can add? How many databases I can create in the SQL Server? The answer is 32,767. Okay, this is a magic number in the SQL Server. How many maximum databases we can create in the SQL Server? 32,767. How many maximum files we can add to the database? 32,767. How many maximum file groups we can create for a database? 32,767. How many logins we can create? 32,767. How many users we can create? 32,767. In all these scenarios, mostly the number will be 32,767. So this number is a magic number, guys. So you can create that many databases, you can add that many files, you can add that many file groups. So this is how excuse me, this is how we can add the databases, data files. Now next class I'll show you how to add data files, how to add file groups and all. Okay, how to add data files, how to add file groups, I'll show you in the next class. Today if I show you everything, you'll be confused. Okay, right. So path also I can change it, and file groups also I can add. As of now I'm not going to add any file groups. Simple, guys. I'm going to click OK, but before clicking OK, I'll do one thing. I'm going to script out this activity. Whatever we did now, I'll script out this activity. How to script out? I don't know what is the script to create a database. So there is an option. It will give you an option to script out the every action, guys. Okay, click on the script button. So when you click on the script button, automatically a script will be generated, and you can see in the SQL Server query editor. Okay, this is your query editor, right? So here you can see how much big script is there to create a database. See how many lines are there, how much big script is there. Okay, if you see here, total 83 lines. 83 lines script it is. Who will remember 83 lines script to create a database? Okay, so that's why we are going to create database using GUI, guys. That's it. Click OK. Done. See here, database is created. Okay, so you want to see the physical files, right? You want to see the files? Go to C drive, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, instance root directory, MS SQL, data file, data drive. Right, see here, forget about these things, master and all. So if you see here, WhatsApp data file. So data file stored in the data drive. We have a separate drive called log drive, log folder. See here, log folder, and WhatsApp log file is stored here. See, WhatsApp log file is stored in the log folder. Okay, WhatsApp log file is stored in the log folder, guys. So this is how generally, which is not a generally we will have a separate drives. So data files will be stored in the data drive, log files will be stored in the log drive. But while installing, I gave an extra folder called log folder. So automatically all other logs also came into this folder. So which is not a good option. Next time we'll change the path. So let me create one more database. This time what I'll do, I'm going to create without having any other. I'll change the path this time. Okay. So this time I'll give telegram database. And owner I don't change. I'll show you what kind of owner you will get it. Data file log file. This time I'll change the path of this. I'll keep it same as a data folder. Okay, otherwise I can do like this also. I can copy this, Control A, Control C, Control A, Control V. Okay, same folder, data folder, data folder. That's it. I'm just clicking OK. Then Telegram is created. Now let me go and check the path. MS SQL data folder, right? We created. So if you see here, Telegram data file and Telegram log file. Telegram data file and Telegram log file. So how to identify data file and log file? For data file, you can see just database name. For log file, you can see _log. And if you expand this type of the file, you can see primary data file means data file. Log file or transaction log file means log file. You can also identify in using icons. For data file, you can see table icon. For log file, you can see notepad kind of icon. In this way, you can identify the difference between, a data file and log file, guys. Clear? Any questions here, please? Right, now what is the query to create a now if you see the database owner, I want to see the database owner and all. So for that we have a separate query called SP. SP means stored proc. Stored procedure means stored proc means what and all query you want to execute. Okay, so now this is the query, right? Very big query, very lengthy query, 83 lines query. So if I create a stored proc for this, automatically instead of executing the whole 83 lines, I can execute single stored proc, a single line stored proc, which will create a database. Instead of running 83 lines, I'll keep all these lines in the stored proc, so that automatically when you run the stored proc, database will be created. So if you see here, I want to see all the databases. We have different types of stored procedures: system stored procedures, user defined stored procedures. Okay, default stored procedures and user defined stored. So default means sp underscore, you can see that is your default stored procedure. I want to see all the databases in my SQL server. For that we can use one stored procedure called sp underscore help db. That's it, very small query. This is a small command. Okay, so check it whether this is correct or not. sp underscore help is there, but I need database information, right? sp underscore help db. Check it whether this is right or wrong and execute the query. Now you can see all the databases, including system databases, size of the databases, who is the owner of the database, what is the ID of the database, when it is created, what is the state of the database, everything you can see, and what is the compatibility level of the database. Okay, like this you can see, guys. Now WhatsApp, I changed the owner to SCA. You can see SCA owner here. But Telegram, I didn't change the owner to SCA. I just kept it as default. So who created the database? Administrator. So owner is administrator. Can I change the owner later, guys?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
The answer is yes, we can change the owner later also. How to change it? Very simple. Go to properties of this database. Go to options page. Yeah, go to files page, sorry. Okay, change it to SCA. Click OK. This is not a downtime activity. You can run whenever you want. Okay, no need to see now. Telegram owner also change it to SCA. Clear, guys, how to change the owner of the database?
Yes.
Fine. Okay, what is the time now? 8:20 now. Okay, fine. Fine. So Monday I'll show you how to create tables and all. Let me show you how to create a database using command. Okay. So I told just now we discussed, right? We have to run the whole script to create the database. So what is there in that? But let me show you one thing. I can use this session. This is one session. This is another session. I can open multiple sessions. Okay. I can open multiple sessions. So let me do one thing. Let me create a database using command. What is the command to create the database? What you want to do? I want to create. What you want to create? I want to create a database. What is the name of the database? Go with the phone pay. Okay. What you want to do? Create. What you want to create a database? What is the name? Phone pay. Can I execute this query, guys, to create a database? Or I have to run all the 84 lines to create a database? Guess it.
It will execute.
You can execute and yeah,
So I can
you can.
happily execute this one. Okay, I can first check whether it is correct or not. I can click execute button, so I can happily execute, but I cannot see the database, guys. I cannot see the
Refresh.
database. Very good. Okay, I told you, right, whatever you do, you have to refresh, then only you can see the new changes. So now you can see PhonePe database. Then if you see these three words, using these three words I can create a database, but using these 83 lines also I can create a database. How it is accepting only three words to create a database? It should ask for other lines, right? I am giving just only one line. Out of 83 lines I am giving only one line. I am not giving remaining 82 lines. Then how I am able to create the database? Any guess?
By this command, we can create a database without any changes which we have made earlier. The changes which I have made earlier, that is the additional lines. Uh,
Right. Okay. So very simple here. Whenever you are running some queries, so here if you see, some of them are off, some of them are 150, some of them are path, some lines are referring paths, some of them are true, some of them are on. Okay, some other values also there, but I didn't provided any value, right? So here, if you don't want to change any values, you want to create a database with the default values, then you can happily run this command. And don't think when you run this command, SQL Server will execute only this command. No. SQL Server will add the default values to this command, and then it will execute the whole line. Means even though you give this line, don't think only this line will be executed. Whatever default values are there. Why? Because we are not providing the path where it will go and sit, right? We are not providing the size, what kind of size it will take, data file and log file. We are not providing the database owner, what owner it will take, right? We are not providing any file groups option, what file groups it will take. So who will give all these values? Your database engine will provide the default values. I'm not changing any size, I'm not changing any path, I'm not changing the database owner, right? In that case, if you are not changing the default values, you can run this query also. But you have to remember one thing, that when you run that query, don't think only the three words are executed. Okay, so some other lines, the default values are also added to these three lines, and it was executed, guys. This is how the things will work in the SQL Server. Any questions, any doubts? Yes. Any questions, guys? If no questions, that's it for today. Okay. In the next class, we discuss how to create tables, how to insert records in the tables, how to search records in the tables, how to filter the records. Okay. All these things will be discussed in the next class. Yes.
Shanmugh, I have a doubt.
Yes. Yes. Prem Sai, I'll upload that session. Yeah. Yes, please.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it
No. No.
is
No.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me.
Okay, instead of that lines, you said that we can see in GUI mode, right?
Yes.
I didn't understood that how to see in GUI.
Very simple. When you script out any activity, so automatically it will generate a script. In that way, you can see. See, for example, when you are creating a new database, lot of options are there, right? Lot of options. Some of them are off, some of them are on, some of them are false, some of them are true, some of them are having some different values and all. I didn't change any values, right? So this is how generally you can provide options using GUI. But if you want to provide the same default options using command, you have to add all the lines. But here, as you are giving default values, why again I have to add in the script? Right, it is a default value. I don't want to change the path of data file. I don't want to change the path of log file. I don't want to change the compatibility. I don't want to change this value, this value. Forget about what and all these things will do. That is a different thing. But I don't want to change any value, so automatically SQL Server will add the default values to this query and it will execute the whole script while creating a database. Okay.
So this is the GUI.
This is command. If you run command, that is command, and if you see this, this is called GUI.
Okay.
See, command means you have to remember, Nandini. You have to remember this one. Okay, whatever command it is, you have to remember. But GUI, no need to remember. Right click. If you see window, guys, that is GUI, graphical user interface. This is a graphical
That
user interface, right? So if you use Windows, that is GUI mode. If you use only queries, that is command mode.
okay. Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Any other questions, guys? No problem. Right, so that's it for today, guys. We'll stop the session for now. Monday, not morning, Monday evening, 7 p.m. IST and 9:30 a.m. EST will connect. Okay, from Monday onwards. Chalo, any questions, any doubts? Right, then let's disconnect, guys. We'll connect again on Monday. Thank you all. Good night, good day, bye.
Thanks, Arjun.
Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.